As we've been learning 3D printing and researching what families need to get started, one thing became obvious fast. There's a short-term list you'll need early on in your printing journey and a longer-term list that you don't have to worry about right away. Today, we're walking through the short-term items that matter at the start.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Evan.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the Bonding Blueprint.
Today, we're taking a closer look at the short-term items families actually need before running their printer. No long lists, just what you need to get started safely and smoothly.
Before we get into the list of items, we wanted to show you something simple that helped us understand 3D printing better. This is everything we printed using just one full spool of filament.
It's an easy way for parents to see how far a 1 kilogram spool of filament can go. Hopefully this gives you a clear idea of how often you might need to restock filament when you're getting started.
Seeing it all laid out makes it a lot easier to imagine what you can make early on. It felt like a lot more than I expected from just one spool.
Some prints have almost no waste, others might require a lot of supports and will use more. Each print is a little different, but you can also see roughly how much you'll use in Bambu Studio before you start printing.
Now that you've seen what a single spool can make, let's go over the short-term items that you'll need to get started. Also, everything we talk about in this video, my dad will link in the description.
Let's start with the simplest items, the consumables. These are all fairly affordable and you'll use them right away when you start 3D printing. The first is PLA filament. For beginners, I really recommend sticking with PLA for a while. Other materials each come with their own little complications, and PLA lets you focus on learning the printing process without worrying about fumes or extra settings.
PLA is the one thing we've been using the most, and it's not toxic or anything, which is nice. It's been really easy to print with.
Next is your adhesion aid. We haven't needed it yet with the textured plate on our Bambu printer, but a lot of people recommended keeping some on hand. Most beginners use a simple glue stick, but there are other options out there as well. It helps most when you're printing on a smooth surface or trying materials that don't grab the build plate. After that, you'll want some rubbing alcohol to clean the build plate. It's also called IPA or isopropyl alcohol, and along with that, you'll need a few microfiber or lint-free cloths. Keeping the build plate clean is important, and if the plate is a little bit dirty, your print is probably going to fail.
We've been cleaning our plate with it before almost every print. It only takes a few seconds and we've had zero issues so far.
Now let's take a look at the tools you'll be using all the time. These are simple, fairly inexpensive, and they make the cleanup and prep work way easier. First up are flush cutters. These help you trim filament and remove little bits of extra plastic from your prints. You'll use them constantly.
I actually like using these. They cut really clean and they're easy to hold. Next are needle nose pliers and some tweezers. These help you grab stringy filament and pull off small pieces that are hard to reach.
Then you'll want a scraper or spatula tool. Some prints pop right off the plate, but others need a little bit of help. You can 3D print these right away, but I felt like a PLA version would lose its edge pretty quick, so I decided to buy a metal one to skip that hassle. Just make sure that when you use it at a shallow angle so you don't damage the plate surface.
This is one of my favorites, the deburring tool. It shaves off rough edges without digging deep and makes your prints have smoother edges, and it's fun to use.
The deburring tool is great, but you're also going to want a sharp X-Acto knife and a utility knife for trimming supports or cleaning up corners. Just make sure kids only use these with adult supervision.
Mini files are another helpful tool. They're great for cleaning up small edges or spots that sandpaper can't reach.
And the last tool in this section are digital calipers. These are really important if you ever want to print parts that fit together or replace pieces for toys, furniture, anything like that. Accurate measurements matter when printing parts that need to fit together.
These tools don't cost much, but you'll be reaching for them almost every time you print. They make the whole process smoother.
The next group of items has to do with keeping your filament in good condition. Filament absorbs moisture from the air, and when it does, your prints can come out rough, brittle, or stringy. So having a simple way to keep it dry will save you a lot of frustration.
We decided to get a bunch of smaller airtight containers instead of one big bin. They fit better on our shelves and make it easier to store each spool separately.
Yeah, and the container itself doesn't matter as much as picking something that fits your space. Inside each one, you'll want some desiccant beads. The containers that we bought came with small packs and some beads included, but it's still a good idea to buy extra. We keep a gallon jug of desiccant, so we always have more when we need it.
Eventually, you'll need to swap it out because it fills with moisture over time. The good news is most of it is reusable.
That's right. You can dry it out in an oven, but even better, use a dedicated old toaster oven so you're not heating chemicals in the same place that you cook food. One extra tool I want to call out here is a filament respooler. Families usually need one earlier than they expect. Spools can unravel, get tangled, split apart, or you might want to fuse the end of one spool to another and wind it cleanly. This is the respooler that we built in the last video. It was fun for Evan to put together, and it actually fixes a lot of annoying filament problems. The last thing in this category is a hygrometer.
It's a small meter that tells you the humidity inside your storage container. It's really helpful to know if the filament is staying dry or if it's time to refresh your desiccant.
Keeping your filament dry is one of the easiest ways to avoid random print issues. It doesn't take much effort, but it makes a big difference. Now let's talk about safety and reliability. This is the part some families might overlook, but it makes a huge difference in how safe your setup is. All right, first let's cover ventilation. So even though PLA is one of the safer filaments, every material gives off tiny particles when heated up. If you ever try PETG, ABS, or something more advanced in the future, you'll want a way to move those fumes outside. A simple exhaust system works great.
Yeah, we're setting up one in our room so the air gets pushed outside instead of hanging around while the printer's running.
Next is an air quality meter. Just make sure the one you buy can read VOCs and PM 2.5. Those are the things 3D printers put into the air. If a meter only measures CO2, skip it because it won't tell you anything about the printing emissions. The third item here is a UPS or battery backup. This keeps your printer running if the power flickers even for a second. Plus, a power surge can actually damage your printer. It's much cheaper to put a battery backup in place than it is to replace your entire printer.
It also stops the printer from shutting off right in the middle of a print, which is great.
And last is a fire extinguisher rated for electrical fires. You'll probably never need it, but it's always better to have one nearby when you're working. These items keep your workspace safe and make sure your printer runs smoothly no matter what you're printing. The last item on our short-term list is something really simple, but you actually can't record time lapses on the Bambu Lab H2 series without it, and that is a USB thumb drive.
Yeah, the printer saves the time-lapse videos on the thumb drive, so you need one plugged in anytime you want to record them.
Exactly. You can still send print files over Wi-Fi through Bambu Studio, which is what we prefer doing, but the thumb drive is what stores your time-lapse videos. So make sure to pick up a small one and leave it in the printer. So that covers all of the short-term items we recommend having before you run your first real print. These things make your early printing experience a lot smoother and a lot safer.
And once you have these, you're pretty much ready to start printing. You don't need to buy every tool people talk about online, just the basics we showed here.
Exactly. And as we spend more time with the printer, we're already learning about the longer term items families will eventually want, like maintenance tools, upgrades, and things to keep your printer running in tip-top shape.
We'll cover all that in a separate video once we've had more time with everything.
If you found this video helpful, hit that like button so more families can find it. And if you're just starting out on your own 3D printing journey, be sure to subscribe because we've got a lot more coming.
And if we missed something or there's an item you think families should have when they're just getting started, drop it in the comments below. We'd love to learn from your experience too. Thanks for watching the Bond and Blueprint. We'll see you in the next one.